Hello everyone, and welcome to Crazy Country Couponer. It's Jenny, and we're going to talk prepping. Yep, because we've got our situation, guys, and it's going to be full of useful information, and we're going to talk prepping using what we know best, the Dollar General. Alright, so guys, it's going to be great information. Give the video a thumbs up. Share with your friends, okay, because this is important stuff they may need, okay? So share, and it helps our channel, okay? And, you know, caring is sharing, especially right now. If you're not a subscriber, well, guys, this isn't a normal video, but we're all about taking care of what you need. And right now, I think we need this. Alrighty? So take a moment, hit that subscription button, that notification bell, because when things get back to normal, well, guys, we save tons of money here, and you want to be here, and we want you to be here. So, subscribe, guys, and subscribers, new and previous subscribers, come on in, guys, sit down. I'm going to answer a few questions, we're going to talk about a few things, and we're going to talk about prepping, and basically storing some of this stuff that we bought in a hurry at the Dollar General, most of it, I guess. And how to store water that comes out of your faucet so that it will last for a while. Because bottled water gets really expensive, even if you can find it, if you have to buy a lot of it. Okay? Thank you. Alright, now, we're going to hop into our conversation. Water bottles, guys. If you can find them right now, Walmart usually carries water bottles up front, but I'm pretty sure they're all gone, filled with water somewhere. If not, you need to get you some of those water bottles. Maybe in camping supplies, you'll find collapsible water bottles. Other ways to store water is in big plastic or metal cans, like 5-gallon cans. Make sure you label them for water, okay, and nothing else. And if you're going to go that route, metal, to me, is the best, because if you need to, you can heat that whole can up. Just keep in mind, never heat that big metal can without taking the lid off, because it will be like a radiator and blow your damn head right off, okay? So, and I know that you guys know the kind of cans I'm talking about, like the old Army water cans, or Army, Army water cans. The old OD green ones. You know, with the twist-on lid. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, I know they still use them. Other ways to store water with things that you have around the house. Let's just say, y'all drink a lot of soda, and you have a lot of 2-liter bottles left every other day. Well, I have a new use for them, guys. They store stuff wonderfully. And I would believe almost forever, okay? And I got proof. First, I'm going to tell you how you can store your water in 2-liter bottles, 20-ounce bottles, half-liter bottles, just so it has the big cap on it, like the soda bottles have. That's why you want a soda bottle, because it has this cap that will reseal, number one. Number two, the reason why you want a soda bottle is that it is basically sterile pretty much all on its own, just from all the chemicals and whatnot that were on the inside, okay? Unlike a milk jug will leave a residue. I don't care how much you scrub it, how much you clean it, how much you put boiled water in it. It leaves a residue in the plastic that can still cause food poisoning. So, again, you don't want to use a used milk jug. Now, if it was an empty water gallon jug, yes, do not throw those away right now. Right now, refill those water jugs. If you drink bottled water at home right now, do not throw those bottles away. You're going to refill those bottles and store them, because we do not know exactly what's going on and how long it's going to go on and what the outcome will be. It's full of a lot of unknowns, and the best way to take care of unknowns, guys, is not to panic. It is to get your head together and prepare for the unknown. Okay? And I'm sorry if I say okay too much, but that's just my way of cutting myself off, because if I don't, I could ramble on for a long time. Those of you who watch my videos, I'm sure you know that. But that being said, storage of the water in these bottles, it can be the small ones, it can be the big ones. Now these small bottles, if you're making a bug out bag, these smaller, or I like the 1.5 liter ones for bug out bags, because they're tall and slim and they fit pretty good in the bag. And you're going to need 3 liters of water for one person for 3 days. And that's what you want in your bug out bag if you have to leave your residence for any reason. Okay, don't care what the reason is, whether it be a natural disaster, for whatever reason. These days, you want to have a bag ready in your closet so that you could just reach in there and grab it out. That's also going to mean that you're going to have to check that bag periodically, like once a month or once every 2 months, to make sure everything in that bag is in good working order and what you need. Now, that bag also has to be seasonal, and we'll do another video about that to come up. And it's great if you have a lot of money to go out and, you know, buy all this prepper stuff and all this camping stuff to do this with. But a lot of us don't, or a lot of us lost their stuff in a flood and never got it back. So now we know what we need, but we don't have the funds to get it. So we're just going to have to make do, guys. And I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to talk you through it. We're going to have a whole series of videos to get us through this, okay, and get us prepared. And that way, that's one thing, one worry off your plate, okay? Knowing how to keep water and sterilize water for drinking and use that will keep for up to 3 to 5 years. And I know this because back in 2001, I started saving water in these 2 liter bottles. By the time I moved away, guys, my basement was full of 2 liter bottles of water. But on the upside, it helped keep my basement warm, because I lined them up against the basement walls. And nobody thought that that water would ever get used. Well, my son moved into that house, and before it was over, my son ended up using this water, and this water was almost 5 years old, and the water was fine. So, it was really funny, because he called me and told me that he didn't have the money to pay to keep the water on. So I told him I didn't know what to do for him, except for, oh yeah, go down in the basement. You got plenty of water. And he did. And he did. But that's how I know this stuff will keep, guys. So let me tell you what you're going to do. First off, after you finished your soda or poured it out, and this is what happens around me a lot when I buy these bottles. This is why I prefer the cans or the 2 liter bottles. But even my 2 liters end up like this in the bottom because they go flat. And now, in desperate days, yes, I drink that flat soda, but we're not quite there yet. So we end up pouring this soda out, and you're going to rinse this with just water, not any kind of soap whatsoever, just water. And while you're doing that, you're going to have some really hot water going, either on the stove or in your microwave. And that hot water is going to be 150 degrees at least. And then you're going to pour it in here. You're going to pour it in there, and you're going to rinse it out. And in some cases, my suggestion is to pour it in there and let it sit for 3 minutes. That way, any type of bacteria or anything that may have been growing in there dies. So you're going to pour the boiling water in and let it sit for 3 minutes. And then you're going to pour it out, And you're going to rinse it a couple times with cold water. And that's going to stiffen your plastic back up because your plastic's going to be a little soft. And then you're going to add cold water. Or if you like, you can add the rest of your boiled water into your bottle. So keep in mind, if you add the rest of your boiled water, make sure it's cooled. After you fill the bottle up, if you think you're just going to be storing this for a little while, then don't worry about putting in the prep. But if you are going to be like me and store for the long haul like I did, then it was to be used for emergencies only. You're going to take a small bottle like this now. It needs barely a drop, and I mean barely a drop of unscented bleach. Now, in the event you have to use this to drink, you're either going to boil it or you're going to open it up and let it sit open for 24 hours before you consume it. You don't want to smell the bleach. If you smell the bleach, then you need to let it sit out until you do not smell it, or you need to boil it until you do not smell it. But that means somebody put too much in it, because you just need a drop for a 2-liter bottle, okay? So imagine what you need for this little bottle right here. Now, if you think you're going to have some bleach around at the time you open this bottle, you don't have to put any bleach in it. Just store it with a bottle of bleach and instructions on what to do should you have to use it. But then, of course, you take a chance of something growing on the inside of your lid or whatever. So I like to do mine when I get ready to store it. But this is what it looks like. Starts out like this. Ends up looking like this. And date it. You're going to take a Sharpie marker and you're going to put the date on it. And you're going to store it just like anything else, oldest first. The other thing these 2-liter bottles are really good for is storage of beans, rice, flour, sugar, anything that you can fit in a funnel to go in here, stores in here. Spaghetti noodles, macaroni noodles, anything like that, this will store long term. And I know it because I've done it. This is the last of preppered beans that I bought or brought with me from Kentucky when I moved here 5 years ago. I've had approximately 8 cases of prepped beans and rice when I got here, and we've used them. But let me tell you, I'm sure you're saying, well, anything will last and work if you store them in, store them right. Well, let me tell you, around here, there's no store right. Okay, nobody knows how to store anything right. I can preach all I want, but nobody knows how to give me a hand. It's all on me. And I work a lot of hours. So after my barn flooded and I lost a lot of my prepper stuff or whatever, they brought up a few things to the house. One of the things they brought was one of the cases of beans and rice, which happens to sit in the case that these 2 liters actually came into the store. You know that little black thing they sit in there in? Well, I have one of those. Actually, I have several of those. And this sits right down in it. So, like I said, we've used them all, except for this one. Now, this has set. I have been here for 5 years. This was brought up to my patio 3 years ago. And it stayed on my patio in its little storage bin, stacked up with its other beans and rice all that time until we used it up until last year. Last year, my granddaughter came over to play, and she took these beans, because they make noise, to the deck and put them out in broad sunlight, in Arkansas sunlight, dead of summer. Okay? And they have been there ever since. So these beans have been sitting on a deck in the winter, fall, spring, and summer, totally exposed in this bottle. Through rain, through snow, through sleet, all out in the open. Just like as if you'd laid the damn things on the ground. Excuse my French. So, let's have a look at them. If I can do it with one hand here. I might have to change hands so I can get a good grip here. Oh, as you can tell, the seal is tight, guys. There it goes. The seal was tight. It did come undone. Now, focus up, camera. There you go. 5-year-old. There you go. 5-year-old white, great northern white beans. Been stored outside in the elements all seasons in a 2-liter recycled bottle. And look, guys, and I'm talking 5 years. I mean, this freeze-dried stuff that they sell, they're talking 10 years shelf life. I think this would do another 5 years. I really do. And doesn't have to be 70 degrees or in the dark, dry place. I mean, when I went out there and got these, it was in a pouring down rain. And we just been leaving them out there because she plays with them. She runs around and shakes them. They make noise. But if you're wondering if they're edible, I mean, my husband ate the other half not too long ago. And so, yes, they're very edible, guys. There's nothing wrong with them. And next video, maybe, I'll cook them up for you in my, it's not an Instant Pot. It's a New Wave type of Instant Pot. It's a New Wave cooker. Does like that Instant Pot. Cooks beans, guys, in 4 minutes. Yeah. If you soak them overnight, put them in that New Wave cooker, beans in 4 minutes. Yeah. Better than the microwave. I don't even think you can cook a bean in the microwave. I really don't. So, I mean, like I said, rice, flour, all those things can be stored in here. And this doesn't have one of those little dry thingies in it either. It has nothing in it but beans. So imagine if you stored this in a root cellar, or for that matter, a hole in the ground. I'd be interested to know how it would do in a hole in the ground. But like I said, to put your food in there, you simply put it through a funnel. And to shake it out, you can, if it's beans or whatever, simply to come out, you just simply shake it out. If it's not simple to get out, just take a knife and cut the thing open. I mean, come on. And we have all different sizes of these, okay? So whatever your needs are, this covers it. And you get something to drink along with it. And, like I said, and of course, if you're wondering about, oh, the lips that was on the bottles, well, usually on the 2-liter bottles, there is no lips. If you're worried about these right here, hence the boiling water, okay? Before you take and put this in, the boiling water in it, you're going to turn it upside down and put the top in there. And let it sit for a few minutes. And then you're going to fill it up with boiling water. Step I forgot. But you prep these 2-liter bottles the same way. Boiling water, let them dry thoroughly, guys. They have to dry for days. They have to be totally dry before you can put anything in them. So, do them with the hot water. They should dry pretty quickly, but I would let them dry for 2 to 3 days. And dry them standing straight up so any water drains out. And then, of course, you're going to seal them tight. Seal it very tight. So that is your storage information for your beans and how to prep. Someone asked me how did we prep these bottles? Well, super simple. Can't get no simpler than what we just did. Now, next thing up, making dinner tonight. Okay? You're stuck in, you want a little Chinese food, and you've been to the Dollar General. By the way, guys, Dollar General has been deemed a essential supply location, so they will be staying open as long as they get supplies, I would imagine. I imagine how you shop there is going to change big time, but we're still going to be able to get out and get what we need, and hopefully they'll pass this dang stimulus bill and start giving out some food stamps to these folks who spent money they didn't have trying to be prepared for being indoors. But I think they're afraid if they give them food stamps, they're going to try to hit the stores. They just need it to make it, well, you can use Snap now at Walmart and order online and pick up. So you could use that. And of course, I'm sure that any grocery store would probably accommodate you if you lived in a small town, if you gave them a phone call up and your grocery list wasn't too big. And I'm sure they'd take it out to you and put it in your car, because they don't want you in the store if at all possible when it gets to that point. What I got here, guys, is these Japanese teriyaki beef flavored noodles. They were 70 cents at Walmart, and they are $1 at the Dollar General. They're really easy to cook. My only problem with them is they don't have enough vegetables in them. They have some, but not enough. So I simply bought a bag of coleslaw cabbage and a bag of julienne carrots. And I'm simply going to fry it up a little bit and throw it in here. You can also have a red onion. I'm going to do a little stir fry with the vegetables. Cook these and toss them all together. Makes a really nice meal. No meat involved. And if you want to do meat with this, there are some pre-cooked fajita steak pieces that are I think they're like $4 for a pound. And it is pricey, but it's already cooked and ready to go, and you don't need a whole lot for this. You take those and you chop them up pretty fine and throw them in here as well, and you have a full meal for 4 people. And that full meal is going to cost you less than $5. Because you're going to have some of that cabbage left over, unless they like a lot of cabbage. If they do, go ahead and get a head of cabbage. It's probably going to be cheaper than buying the bag. But let's see what I would have in both of these. If I used all of my cabbage, that would be $2. So that would be $2.70. And so $3.40. $3.40. And my onion and my beef, you would have probably about $4 or $5 in a meal for 4 to 5 people, depending on how big the people are that you're feeding. And like I said, these things came from the Dollar General, and they also have them at the Walmart. And they are so cheap, and they're good. So, emergency food, guys. When you go into the store right now, even if you don't think this is going to last a week, please pick up something like this. 1 or 2. Pick you up a container of salt, at least 1. Because we don't know what's going to happen. And it's going to be all about being prepared for what is. Because like I said, we've got no control over it. But what we do have control over is how we react. And how we're going to react is we're going to prepare. We're going to hunker down and we're going to prepare. And of course, we're going to talk to whatever entity, whatever being, whatever omnipotent being, or God, or Lord, or I don't know else, infinite creator that you have. All those titles to me, go back to just one source. So whatever source that you have of your faith, Well, guys, let's put that faith to work. Let's have faith that all this is going to end. Yes, we all know it's going to end. But in the meantime, we got people to feed. We don't want to be hungry. Alright, guys, blessings. Okay, blessings. Get out there and get some of this stuff right here and start putting it away. Squirreling that stuff away. It's springtime. It is springtime. And if you want to know what to do with your time that you're stuck in the house, well, you know we was buying all that stuff for spring cleaning. Guess what time it is, guys? Alrighty. Thank you for stopping by. I enjoyed it. We're going to look at the Dollar General ad here in a bit, and I'm going to send you another video. So, hang on out. It's a-coming, guys. And y'all come back now. Here.